Hey there, Ddraig back with another video, and today we're going to look at another of Cataph's mods. This time, and seeing the DLC is about high elves, I thought we can take a closer look at the Sea Patrol mod. Naturally, you will need Mixer and Yoka as well to play this faction. So first off, the units, and then I'll go into the campaign. For this one, I'm going to put everything into one video, so campaign information and the units. And as always, I'm on auto settings, and just have the Sea Patrol mod activated. So first up is the Lord for this faction, Assyrian, known to be a phenomenal tactician and is the leader of the Sea Fleet. And during his reign they've had an impressive amount of victories. However, these victories are vicious and with a high kill count, unlike most high elf victories. So combat wise, he's potent from high melee attack and defense. Even Tyrion has only 10 more melee attack, so he's potent. He lacks the armour though, and AP on his weapon, and it's only a measly 188. The lack of armour makes him vulnerable, so something to be aware of, but he is potent, as are any of the main high elf leaders when it comes to combat. Abilities wise, naval discipline, giving expert charge defense around him, and can also boost the acceleration as well. He can be mounted on a rock or a dragon, which I shall come back to later, but he cannot be mounted on a horse, which is a shame with that acceleration boost. Next we have Harold and Mathian, giving a very brief burst of hit points and a massive boost of vigour. A great thing if you can get him out of combat and get a full burst off. However, gotta keep an eye on him when his health is low, as this is the only time he can use this ability. He also has his unique armour, and which is something which he badly needs, as his base armour is very low, and it adds some resistances as well. The last ability, Mist, is really interesting. As it starts, you can just snipe and stalk, and then it increases the range by a huge amount over time, so you can get a huge jump on the enemy from extreme range. Also, it affects a huge area, so you can really take advantage of a sneaky flank. So to come back to the mounts you can use, the first one is a rock, which is has some extra combat abilities and of course a high speed boost. And lastly, the Storm Dragon, which is obviously a huge boost in combat and a new breath attack as well. Obviously speaks for itself how handy this is, and the model itself looks amazing. Another Riky Lord is a Sea Helm, a hybrid class which the High Elves love so much. This Lord has the same fleet mechanics, which I'll talk about in the campaign section. The Lord himself is a bit more defensive, as he lacks the melee combat prowess, but bringing that silver shield really does help. However, he lacks even more armour. He has 110 AP damage and a bonus versus yards of 35. So he can do a decent job in melee, as well as a decent range attack as well, which gives you some flexibility to keep him at the back, and he can also jump onto any enemy to do a fair bit of damage, using especially against a yard threat. He can also be mounted on a rock, which has stamina stats increased to what I showed on Assyrian. Abilities wise, we have the Bow of a Seafarer, which is a nice long range, much like the Wood Elves ability. Extra long range attack is always a lot of benefit. Then we have the Sea of Rebirth, which gives him the Sea Helm a nice small boost in health every second. So on to the new units. First up, the Sea Company at only 430 points, meaning this is the cheapest infantry available to your armies. There's nothing particularly special about the unit, as it's a good basic cheap infantry, and that silver shield being particularly handy, so you can mix it up with some of the more traditional spearmen, which are at 500 points, having a nice mix for your front line. This unit's melee stats are much better than all spearmen, but it has very low AP at only 7, but it's still a good solid unit and especially good against chaff. Another infantry unit, the Silver Helm Marines. This is a much better unit at 850 points, adding a bit more damage output and a lot more armour, making this unit capable of taking on some decent tier of troops, or provide a really solid roadblock. The damage is nothing spectacular, and there's no real bonuses, so it's half decent support unit, or thrown in at the front line where the high armour can make it a bit more difficult to break through that line. Coming in at the same price as Shadow Warriors, the Offering Sea Rangers at 850 points are almost identical to the Shadow Warriors. The only real difference is the better armour for the Rangers, however they do have a lower hit points. But other than that, they're identical, and you can recruit, but you can of course recruit this unit when you're at sea, which is definitely a handy bonus. Often Swift Feather Riders are pretty much the same type of thing that you get for the Hawk Riders for the Widows. This unit is at the same price as them at 950, and they have a bit of ranged firepower in the air, which is something I always have completely missing from their roster. This high mobile force yaks the range and damage of the Hawk Riders, but adds a bit more damage and they have much more potent charge. So they can definitely do the classic harass and missile units, or the shoot into the backs. This is a highly useful option for any high elf player and gives you a bit more flexibility. Lastly, we come to this rather unique unit. This unit is not recruitable, but is knocked down the mage chain as a spell. It's purely an annoying unit, and they can knock back the enemy but does no damage. A unit which I don't think I've ever seen in any mod or any other faction ever in Total War Warhammer 2. It provides fear, which is nice, but it's not exactly game changing. The knockback is definitely handy though, and it causes disruption, and of course being a magic spell, it's a free unit. However, the debuff is really nice, causing rampages and debuffing damage, which is always handy. And just a note on the ability, it won't affect the undead, so it's maybe not a great choice against the Vampire Coast, which you do tend to fence during a high elf campaign quite early on, and of course Musion is very close to you at the start, especially for this faction. Speaking of a starting location, let's go to that campaign right now. Oh, so you've seen the units now, let's have a closer look at the campaign itself. So I'm using Mixed Yoka and of course Cataph Sea Patrol, and that's about it. And here he is, Asian. And this is where he starts, northeast corner of Orphan. And so we've got his particular stats, no picture yet, I'm sure Cataph at some point will sort that out for you. So I've got pseudo requirement ocean, minus 33% attrition to casualties, and recruit rank plus 3 for Sea Company. Extra campaign movement, extra ambush, and leadership. So that is pretty much all you can say about this. It's your standard high elf faction with a couple of tweaks, as you've seen in the units. If we go to the campaign now, and you get this rather nice looking picture of our son himself, and you got like a bit of Azure there. So the main feature, obviously, of this campaign is mainly his ability to use a fleet management system. So like a horde army, he can actually create his own fleet and just build it up like a horde and have that particular units available to him no matter where he is. And as he holds in, I can still waff one. Interesting campaign. I've played a bit of it. You won't see it in this campaign because I haven't played much, so I didn't think it'd be worth it. I have got a high elf campaign going on at the moment actually, because I started one to test out Boys with Boys is take on it, and I've started one with Tyrion, so I'm just playing through that. Quite enjoyable campaign. I decided not to go with any of the newer factions yet. Probably will do soon, but I just wanted to. I'm a big fan of Tyrion, and I just like his campaign. It's nice and easy. There's nothing not complicated about it. And with the Boys with Boys mod, makes an interesting campaign. Anyway, so here we are on the campaign, and here we are northeast. So you start off, which I found interesting, with Marienburg. So yeah, enemy at Marienburg straight away, and you still have an army to fight immediately. Now, you can either hit him straight on, and that is a 9 stack, and you start off with a 7 stack with nothing massively good. The Silver Helms are really good, admittedly, and these the new Yoffren Sea Rangers are pretty damn decent as well, but not the greatest. Not bad though. And then you can just, I usually nip to Mr. a couple of playthroughs I've done, and then because they usually attack that settlement first. Anyway, beside the point. So just quickly the obvious things, like this is pretty much the same as any high elf faction. Might be a couple of tweaks here and there, but nothing special. Then we've got the settlement itself. Again, nothing particularly special. It's exactly the same as it was normally. The actual buildings themselves, because you get a new area which you might not know much about, Cataph with 2 settlements from off, both to level 2, which is really nice. And you got the special building here at some point, Agent Subterranean Powers, nice little building. Other than that, nothing really special about the thing. I also get a trade, Salt Frats, so it's not too bad. Mr. Nars got nothing special about it, just his standard tier settlement. One thing I do want to point out, if I extract our son's army here, and we'll go to the fleet manager in a minute, they do have a separate stance. Usually have only 2 stances for any ship, fast and normal. And you get this one now, patrol. So they now recruit from shipbuildings, so at sea you can always recruit. A limited amount, but you can easily recruit. The campaign movement range is adopted, required to adopt 25%. Gets a punishment. Campaign movement is disabled. You can see it all there. The really good, powerful thing about that is that plus 50% viewing campaign line of sight. Really handy, that is. They make an excellent early warning patrol. So you can put them in, say, out here somewhere, and they can spot from miles away any pirates coming over. Like there's a pirate there and things like that. Particularly handy. Something I did use in my brief campaign. I didn't finish it, but it's a brief campaign. I quite enjoyed it because I don't hold much of this, but I think Cataph used this as a sort of a test to how to do this, the fleet building. And so let's have a look at that now. So just go to the building browser, and there we go. So these are all the units you've just seen, or just gone through. So you have all the typical horde growth things. So you got horde growth. It goes quite slowly, just to warn you. I think there's a stat in the legendary Yore tree to increase that, so we'll have a look at that in a minute. But so we're going to have to go through all these buildings because most of you, well, pretty much none of them are familiar because they're brand new. So you've got ship companies, so that's various things to increase your fleet crew. So in other words, recruitment. These are your basic units, and you also got the Silver Helm Marines as well. Here, the Offensive Sea Rangers, and also got the Eagle Corps Boat Throwers, and the basic rank Sea Company and the Offensive Sea Guard. So you can, no matter where you are, you can always recruit the units you've unlocked here, which is very, very handy. Then we go to the next part of the recruitment. So you got the new off-front Swift Feather Riders, which might sound like a tongue twister, which I will not attempt. Sun Dragon, Moon Dragon, and of course the Star Dragon. So there's your monster recruitment. Then you got all the Archmages, all the mages there, perfect. And then the only other recruitment is the Right Lines of Sharice or Shras. I can never remember, never really guess which way to say that word. And then you got, and there's a bit of fleet growth there, plus 5. As you see, some of these buildings are pretty expensive. Like that's 6,000. 5,000 there, 5,000 there, etc. So, what else have we got? Experienced crews. Add more movement range, and yes, attrition. Very handy. Because when you fight, going around the seas, attritions are like pain. I've always found that a bit of pain. I can understand why, so that is very handy to have. And then you got the Mist Mage quarters, so that just unlocks heroes. Things like that. You also get bound spells as well. Mistress of the Deep and Tycho. Next, Ranger Training, so that's just better recruitment. And you get a new experience per turn, which adds up over the time you play a battle, campaign. And you got replenishment and fleet growth, so more fleet growth there, up to 10. And about that's 15. So you start off with 4, which will take a while to get started, I have to admit. And you got every level of this, you get extra bit of fleet growth. I think they got by 4 of them reserves. Yeah, we do. Upkeep, that's really good. Minus 30% of all units is quite a lot, and plus leadership as well. So that's anything of this Yore's army. Of course, you can hire more of these patrol units. Field reports, income from sacking, and then a bit more campaign out of sight, and enable siege assault. Cheaper upkeep for artillery units, so really I just go heavy into this. And if you use the Boys to Boys mod, which I recommend a lot, you're restricted to what you can use, so that really makes, because you can just spam these in normal vanilla, which I've never liked. I know like the spamming of units, it annoys me. But each of their own, if that's what you want to do. So that just adds a bit more equipment rank, yes, upkeep, and that Eagle Claw broadside, which is a nice ability to say the least. Then we've got passive ability at sea, Dragon Ship Ramming, may set severe damage up to 3 enemy units. Now, I never actually tried that. That would be quite interesting. I presume that's when you run, if you got that active and you run it into a unit, there's a chance, is it a chance? Yeah, may severe damage up to 3 enemy units. Interesting. Much like the hero ability to hinder or to sabotage armies. Interesting that. I have to admit, I didn't even see that one when I was playing through. Like I said, it wasn't a long campaign. I think I got to 4, if memory serves. And I was just concentrating on getting these new recruit units to see what they like. And that's about it. And he asked me, he's sealed deck. So there's that one. Okay, so yeah, fighting Norsca, so it's fighting Dark Elves Norsca. And a bit more free growth. So there's the building tree. Other than that, it's a standard high elf campaign. And so the last thing we can look at is, of course, the skill tree. So let's go to there. Anything we need to do about that? Yeah, it's just from the main tree we saw at the start of the single video. And here we go, skills. So, same as usual. Free growth, so there's that free growth. I knew I'd seen it somewhere. Ruthlessness, Bond Services, Wary, Draftmaster. So these are pretty much the usual standard and fare. We're now defeated at the end. Here we've got Hold the Iron, Sea Guard Tradition. So these are a bit different because these are more focused on the particular units that you have available to you. So they're quite specific. So whenever you create these armies, you want to heavily go into down that tree, not have the usual high elf units like the spearmen and the archers. Go for more of the Yoffrin Sea Guard, things like that, and then stack them and have some of the more elite units, which you can't get normally, such as the Solar Mass of Hoeth, which really work really good in this. White Iron to Trace, very handy. And as I'm going through these, yeah, so various unit abilities, all bound around all the fleet infantry it sells. You've got standing ground. So his personal abilities are the usual things, don't need to go for them. Just a quick glance, but yeah, there's anything different? A bit of speed, nothing different there. So, more interesting one, dedicated to Marthran. So you got your leadership and upkeep, reduction and increase. Income from all ports, very nice. Some melee attack bonuses. Tide of Ilfnar, so that's him personally. Sea Lord, nice leadership all increase. A bit of more income from settlements, sacking and eating. Royal approval, very nice that one. I did have that one on my character. I think I actually went down there first. Well, I couldn't have done because that's the old 10, isn't it? No, I didn't know that. Traditionally, depending what type of Lord I'm using, I usually go down this one, boost up all my units, and then go down there. I think I got to at least level 15 because I remember having that. No, that one. Because that actually reduces influence, but increases your melee attack. Not a big fan of that one because influence, I suppose it is quite easy to get, admittedly. So, I prefer that one personally, but I'm sure some people might find a use for that. Then you got the Held, so that's a nice bit of life-saving hit points, plus 100 figure. And then, of course, that's how you get your Storm Dragon. Interestingly, you have to go down the complete tree to get a Storm Dragon, which I found quite interesting, which of course I never got to. Instead of it's usually like another ability up here, but in this case, nope. Some armor. There's rock. No, you can't. There's no bow. You don't get any missile attack with that one. Master of Mists. Nice Vanguard deployment of pretty much the entire army there. when they hit level 4, which just so be aware of that. So keep your amount of units high. So swap the units out if you got other Sea Patrol units, so you got a nice rank 4 and above, so you can actually get a bonus of that. And of course speed of Historian. And there we go. So that's a brief overview of the Sea Patrol mod. So you know about the units, you know about the basics of the campaign. It's an interesting campaign. I recommend having a go with it, especially if you're a high elf fan, which I most certainly am. So on that note, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.